Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video we'll be looking at an interesting and pretty rare variation of a twin combi lock. This is the Ruko Garant, which is almost like an ASA twin combi, but it has gin bottle spools for drivers. That's a pretty uncommon variation. So looking at the key, we have our bitting for the top pins. There are 6 of them. And of course, here's our track for the sidebar, or for the finger pins, I should say. This is a Scandi housing with the sidebar slot on the left side. It says Ruko, of course. Here's our plug. So keyway, nothing too difficult. You can definitely use a 19,000 pick to pick it. This is these are the chambers for the main stack, and hopefully you can see, or at least hear, that we have undercuts in here. So this is basically countermilling for gin bottle spools present in every chamber. And on the side, of course, this is a slot for the sidebar, and from the bottom we can see 5 chambers for the side pins. Let's take a look on the drivers. So all of them are gin bottle spools. You can tell that there is this sharp lip on the bottom that gets caught in the countermilling. And we have, let me just show you the sidebar real quick. So sidebar looks like this, and it's a bit different from the twin combi. Actually, that's the only difference, because twin combi has a little serration on the side of every of these protrusions, right? There is like a little step down in here, and what it does is that it interacts with the serrations on the finger pins. So it's not present in here. This is a finger pin that looks pretty much identical to your, another good view, to your ASA twin combi finger pin. So you can tell that this is the part that interacts with the key, this one. And this is basically the front view. This is the true gate. And you can also appreciate, hopefully, the vertical serrations that are running across the finger pin. So for those of you who don't know how these finger pins work, so I will demonstrate it. I will just install one of them real quick so you can see. So usually when you have side pins in a lock, the side pins usually only need lifting, but finger pins in twin combi locks or twin combi style locks, they don't only need to be lifted, but they also have to be rotated either forward, backward, or not at all. So this is the view from the bottom, right? You can tell that, you can see how it's rotating, right? This finger pin to front, to back. And it's also, of course, being lifted. And if you take a look here, you can tell as well that finger pin is rotating. So what you need to do in order to pick this lock is, with the sidebar I mean, you have to find the correct rotation of every single finger pin so it exposes its true gate against the sidebar. And when it does, the sidebar can sink like this into the plug, and the plug can rotate. So yeah, that's basically the whole idea behind this. I'm sure you have already seen some sorry for that, twin combi videos. So I'm only showing you this lock because it's pretty rare to have gin bottle spools in a twin combi lock. Actually I'm pretty happy that I managed to get one, so thanks to Thx Jim, who this lock belongs to, and to Rein, who forwarded it to me. So in terms of picking this lock, I will be very brief because I already covered gin bottle spools and finger pins in my previous videos. But this lock isolates pretty well, so actually what you need to do, first step, is to get all of these gin bottle spools into milling with these sharp lips. You can see that we have some min lifts in chambers 1 and 3. These are such small gins, and these already start almost at the shear line, but they still need to be clicked up, so there are no zero lifts. So these pins actually are already start out of the milling but below the shear line, so they need a little nudge. And then the other gins, they need to be pushed first into milling, then you get a full set, then you start working on the sidebar, so you are rotating the finger pins back and forth, lifting them. I was using this is pretty default for twin combis, multi-pick MP10. And after you get the sidebar done, you get even deeper full set, and you can start picking the gins out of the milling. So for that you can either use 2 tensioners and manually counter rotate with them, or you only use one and use the pressure from the sidebar to counter rotate for you. I was using these two, but it's not required, but I feel like it's a bit more precise. And for picking the main pins, I was using this medium Moki pick with the flat top. Alright, so I think we got the Glock covered by now, so let's go ahead and get it picked. Alright, here we go. It works. So we'll be going counterclockwise, and step number 1 is getting the gins in the milling, so that should be easy. There's 2, 4, and 5, and a nice click, a little rotation, so we can start working on this on the finger pins. There's 1, rotated 1, 2 is binding. Okay, give him a click. 3 is a push. Okay, pushed him and lifted. 1, 2, 3 should be fine. 4 is a push as well. Okay, I'll click there, and 5 is neutral, and more rotation. So now we have to get the gins out of the milling, but first there are actually 2 min lifts, and these are gins that are already out of the milling but not quite over the shear line yet, and that's number 1. Okay, level click, and 3. Alright, so these 2 are basically already set, and now we have 2, 4, 5 and 6 left. These are actually in the milling, so let's try to get them out. So let's start with 4. Okay, light tapping, counter rotating slowly. He's almost out. Okay, he's out. Perfect. The faucet just got deeper. Let's continue with 2. Okay, so tapping on 2, counter rotating back. Okay, he's out, but I think I dropped something. Could be a dropped fingerpin. They usually maintain their rotation if you drop them like this. And you only have to, yeah, that was 5. You only have to leave them. Luckily 2 stayed up and 4 did not, so let's try to fix it. Dropped 4. Okay, he's out. 2 stayed up. Let's move to 5. Five is out and 6. Okay, we got it, I think. Yep. Alright, there's the open. Perfect. So let's just cut it. So okay, let me just adjust the angle a bit. And yeah, this is better. Okay, so we have some screws in the back. Actually, as you could see, sometimes the feedback or the binding order can mix a little bit. Depends on lock to lock, but this time actually I dropped some fingerpin as I was trying to float up a gin. But other times I tried this lock, it did not happen. That's very typical with locks with like jeans and country milling, that the binding order is not always the same. Alright, so I don't think I need a shim in this case, there's no cap. I just need to catch the sidebar. Okay. Yes, so first let's just drop the sidebar. And the springs. Okay. Now we can dump the key pins. Okay. Arrange this a little. Fingerpins can go out now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Springs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's our plug. And drivers. Okay. Springs, and we have everything out, I'm pretty sure. Nice. Okay, there's a close-up, and yeah, there's our jeans, fingerpin, sidebar, and the other parts. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video on this pretty rare twin variant, and I hope we will see each other pretty soon. Until then, bye.